Hello and welcome to the next video, and we are into the 90s, folks. We are looking at issues 90 and 91 of R2-D2. Only 10 more issues to go, and then we have a completed R2-D2. And by the end of this video, you will have what actually looks like R2-D2 pretty much all sorted, because there is a lot to do in this video. And because there is a lot to do in this video, I've already gone ahead and done the first parts of this video off camera, because it is exactly the same as what we did at the end of last week's video, and that is putting the lubricator onto a side of the foot. If you didn't see it, go back and check it out. It's here in fast time for you now. But when it's all done, you will have something that looks like that. And as you can see, if we bring in last week's piece, it is exactly the same but the other side, and they will attach together like that eventually. But we're not gonna do that just yet, because we need to actually look at the bottom of this foot, because there is a lot of things that we need to do on the bottom of this foot, which is what this part here is. So if we just flip it around and we zoom in, so we're looking at these screw holes and all these pegs and holes here. And the first thing we need to do is attach these micro switches here to the bottom of this foot. So if you get the one that has the two black cables, the black cables even, and this just will fit in to these two holes there like that. Push that down so it's nice and secure, it's a nice fit. And then we get the ones for the other side, which has the red cable, and we just install it the opposite way. So you'll see that this switch is there and this switch is there. I hope mine's loose. I hope that isn't meant to be attached, because mine has come loose. We hope that's not going to cause a problem. I don't think it will, because it's pushing into stuff that clicks those switches. So yeah, let me know if yours was a little loose when you installed it, and let me know if it all works okay. But yeah, those are the micro switches all installed. We then need to bring in this switch here, or this sensor here. We saw it in both of the legs, and now it's going in this front foot. We just need to attach this cable to it. Make sure we get the right way around, so that the switch is actually powered and can work. Ooh, I'm having trouble getting this in. Why is that? It does go in. There you go. Give a good push. Okay. That is in. It doesn't click in or anything, but that is then in. And this needs to be pushed through. So the black sensor is facing the switch with the black cable, and the clear sensor is facing the one with the red. So it just needs to go on there like that. And when that's in, you have to screw it down, which I'm just going to go and do now. And there we go. That is now nice and secure. And if we look at the bottom, we see we've got these two sensors just gently poking out of the bottom there. Okay, so just to secure these wires to the foot, the switches at any rate, we just need to get this part here. You get two of them. They're both the same. Oh no, they're not. BF48 and BF56. Okay. I don't know. I think it doesn't matter which way around they go in, as long as they do go in. So we need to move this wire out of the way here. Let me zoom back in. I don't know why I zoomed out. And move this black wire so that this hole is, so that, where am I trying to pin this down? So yeah, so this peg is pushing these wires out of the way so you can secure it. I'm possibly being a bit too delicate here, because I don't want to break anything. So maybe if I just give them a good shove out the way. Yes, okay, there we go. So that is all ready to lined up to be screwed in, and you do exactly the same with this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and screw both of these in now. Okay, and there we go. Make sure that the pegs at the back of these parts don't pierce the wires. you can see that the wires can move freely, and the peg isn't trapping the wires or anything like that. And then the wires then will come up through this center part here, so it holds the switches in place and it controls the wires. So a very nice little bit of plastic. That I do like the way that these two parts attach. Okay, so with that all done, we now move on to this trolley wheel, which is going to be used for the foot. It isn't motorized, it is freestanding, and it does turn. As you can see, it will turn like that. So the motorized part of R2-D2 will be in the two legs. This foot is merely a guide so that it can go any way you want it to. So what you need to do is you need to put it this way and push the wheel through there, and when that's pushed through, you see that it just barely comes over the top there, hardly anything at all, which is pretty cool. And you see that we got this part sticking out here. Then you need to put on this washer that comes in issue 91. You then need to put in a spring washer, which is a washer which is angled up like that for some reason. I don't really know why. And then you need to get the nut and put it on there. I wasn't being flippant. I really don't know why, because I'm not mechanical. I'm sure there's a reason why that washer does stick up like that. So push down the nut as tight as you can, and then when it's as tight as you can go by your hand, we are given this tool to make sure that it is nice and secure. It should be tightened fully, it says on the instructions. So just make sure that you really get it down as low as it needs to go. And even though this feels quite flimsy tool when you take it out of the packaging, it really does work, he says. There you go. Oh, I think we're nearly there. That is as tight as I can take it. And that is the wheel all installed, and it's still got free movement. So yeah, I think that works. That does move around quite well. I know you can't really see the wheel, but you can see, yeah, it's still got 360-degree turning. That bolt is fully down. Really make sure that it is fully down. Just going to give it one more push for good measure. Nope, that's as far down as it will go. And that is the wheel all installed for the foot, which is pretty awesome. So now that we have the wheel installed at the bottom of the foot, it is time to add the sides of the foot now. So the first thing we need to do is get this metal part here. This came a couple of issues ago, but we're not using it till now. Make sure it is this way, so you have the BF54 facing you like that, and then we need to thread through all of these wires through this hole here. So first we'll have the black and the blue for the micro switches, push through there, and then we have the red and the orange of the sensors, push through there, make sure they all come through like that. There we go. And of course this metal part is the framework that will be held in place so that we can attach the leg to the main body of R2-D2. And speaking of that, let's bring in one of the sides of the foot, which is this side here. So we need to lead these cables again. This is the metal framework that will sit in place there, but the wires, when you've pushed it through the metal part, will have to go down this little corridor part here to attach it. Am I putting this on right? I just want to make sure. No, I think it's higher. It is higher. Okay, so flip this around. Okay, so this metal part, will be pushed into these holes here, as you can see. But before you push that in, come out, you need to make sure that none of the wires get caught. So make sure that they are in that corridor recess there when you push him in. So coming from the bottom, it's a little bit fiddly. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. So that they all come through that corridor recess and out of the hole at the top there, like that. You can see they've got some free movement there, which is pretty cool. Then you need to screw these parts down, which I'm just going to go and do now. And this is what it looks like when that part is screwed on. Make sure that you don't screw it down into these screw holes here. These come to play later, but screw it down just in these two ones here. And that will hold it nice and secure. And the wires come out the top and they can move freely to the bottom part of the foot as well. Now what we need to do is get a part that we haven't seen before, and it's called a bumper bar. Now this part is separate to the rest of the foot, and what you need to do is get this metal rod and just push it into these holes here, because it will pivot like that. And then if we look at the side of the foot, there isn't one on this side, but there is a little tube on this side. We need to push the metal roll into that tube. It does only fit one way, so if it's not going one way, it will go the other, he says. There we go. Okay, so the bar, oh sorry, I didn't see that. So the bar sticks out there like that. Just do that again so you can see. Push that in there like that. And then what we need to do is we need to get the other side of the foot, the side of all the screw holes, and we need to make sure that we push the metal rod into this part as well. And make sure the wires come out the bottom as well. You don't want them caught here or anything like that. So I'm just going to angle it up so that metal rod goes into that hole. There we go. And then push that down there to secure it. And then if we pull rather these wires through and secure the bottom, make sure that these are all nicely pulled through, we have the foot completed. Now this bumper bar is pretty cool because this is the part that activates those two switches. So when R2-D2 runs into something and bumps into something, it will push down on those two switches, stopping it or changing its direction or doing whatever it needs to do. I don't really know yet. So yeah, that is pretty cool. Some people might get annoyed by the gap here. It is a little annoying when you look at it from the side. From the front it looks fine, but you know, it serves a purpose and it serves a function, so it doesn't matter to me so much, but it is a little bit annoying. Maybe it's screen accurate, I don't know. Ooh, the bottom's falling off. Okay, so before I talk any more about this foot, I need to secure it down. So it's in this screw hole, all these screw holes here, and these screw holes at the bottom. So I'm just going to attach them all now. And there we go, all secure, nice and weighty actually. And this bumper bar, oh, had a little click, but this does move free now. So when it bumps into something, you hear that nice clicking. And this wheel moves freely, it can move around just like that. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, of course, these bottom screw holes don't matter so much because it's at the bottom, but these screw holes are unsightly. Luckily, we have just the thing to sort it out, and that is these screw hole covers. So we have an angled one for this top one. That just goes on there. And then we have a straight one for this bottom hole, which is a little fiddly to get to, actually. Oh, it is a little fiddly to get to. But get to it I will. There we go. Just push that down in there like that, and then we get these ones that come off the sprue, and make sure that you do shave off the little bit of sprue part, otherwise it won't fit precisely, and all that job you've done covering up screw holes will be undone because there'll still be this horrible little gap. So I'm just taking the screw part off. God, it's not wanting to come off, this one. But yeah, this is what it looks like. Really nice now. You know, it really does help that these screw hole holes are covered to the aesthetics of R2-D2. And that is the bottom foot even all done. But do not think that we are over in this video. Oh no, there's still quite a lot to do, and that involves getting back parts that we've already done. And the first parts that we're going to bring back, if we just put this foot to one side, are the legs. So I've only got one of the legs here, and looking at the way that we just filled in those screw holes there, we haven't been given any screw hole covers for this battery pack at the side of this leg. This very loose leg. Have I actually screwed this down? I'm just going to tighten this up while I talk to you. So yeah, I don't know why we haven't got screw holes. Maybe because I haven't tightened it up. And if I did put the screw holes on, I wouldn't be able to. But yeah, it's a shame because it's so holy, and that's really loose. Why is that so loose? Interesting. So make sure that your battery pack isn't on super loose. There we go. Got some purchase now on the screw. It's still quite loose. Okay. Let me know if your battery pack is loose. I'll tighten that at a later date. So what we're going to do with this leg is we're going to sort out all these wires, because in issue 91 we get another one of these. We saw this earlier when we were looking at some of the dome wires, I believe. And basically what you need to do is you just need to wrap it around all of these wires so that they're a little bit more manageable, so they're not flailing about all over the place. There you go. Once you get it started, it's an easy process. It's a long process because they've all got to attach in, but it's just getting that initial start going. That's key. Now we're into December. Christmas is finally, in my mind, Christmas, we can start celebrating Christmas in December. November's too early. So I am on track to finish R2-D2 by Christmas, and on Christmas Day I'll throw up that final issue 100 video. But let me know if you're getting any, or have asked for anything Star Warsy for Christmas. Let me know if you're going to put your R2-D2 in a Santa hat, because I think quite a lot of you probably are very close to finishing your R2-D2 as well. A few more stages ahead of me, and I'd love to see your completed ones actually in photos down below. So yeah, December. It's December, everybody. Hope you're all looking forward to Christmas. There we go. That is that part all on there. Maybe we can push it down just a little bit, and then at the end we have quite a short wire. This wire, quite short, and then this wire and this wire as well, which is the sensor wire. And it just contains them, which is really, really nice design. It just contains them so they're not flailing about everywhere. And of course you do the exact same thing with the other leg, which I've already done. This wire for me is very short on this leg. Let me know if you have such differences between these two wires, because this one sticks out quite a bit. This one doesn't stick out at all. I guess it's where they're positioned. I guess it all makes sense. But let me know if you have a little wire sticking out compared to this longer wire on this side. Now I'm going to have to change up the camera angle. Be right back. And there we go. That's all changed up. And the reason I had to change the camera angle was to get some height to fit in this framework, because what we're going to do now is attach the legs to the framework. And I've actually gone ahead as well and tightened up my battery pack so that doesn't wobble anymore. So I'm just going to show you with this leg, and then I'm going to do the other one off camera. Make sure you get all the wires and just push them through this hole here in the shoulder joint. So the black one first, and then that one, and then that one, and just push them through, push it all the way through. And then when they are all in, see, I've got a problem with my foot. Oh no, maybe not, hold on. Okay, there we go. Crikey. So you want it so these wires aren't interfering with any of these connections, which mine do seem to be. But basically what you need to do, and I think I will have to do this all off camera so that I don't damage any wires, what you have to do is line up these 4 holes in the leg here with these 4 holes in the shoulder joint and screw them down for both of the legs. I'm going to do this off camera because I don't want to damage my R2-D2, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. And here we have both arms installed. I'll show you the full thing at the end of the video, but just make sure that with these screws here that do attach the shoulder to the leg. Make sure that you put the washers on these screws to secure them fully, and then make sure the wires go through the whole of this metal part here, just to keep them out the way. Now the next step I've already gone ahead and done, because I had a mild panic that I couldn't find this part from issue 4. You get another one in issue 91, and that is the kind of shoulder bolt that attaches it all together. To install it and unscrew it, you use this tool here, which we get in issue 91. You just pop a little screw in there and you just open and tighten it like you can see here. Make sure you push it all the way around so that it locks into place, and that is the legs all installed on R2-D2. Okay, so changing up the camera angle again, and we're looking at the bottom of R2-D2, as you can see here in all its glory. Just before I do that, I did make a mistake in the actual bottom panel with the on-off switch. I was waiting for screws to be put in, but you don't actually need screws. It's actually got two little clips, which you can see, one there and one there, and you need to push it in from the bottom, from this part into there like that, making sure that the eye is at the bottom end here, and then you just no, sorry, that's why I was going wrong. You make sure you put it in from the top, from this way, so the wire just goes in there like that, and then you just push it down so that that clips into place, and that is secure now. Make sure the eye's at the bottom and that clip is on and off like that. You then feed both of these wires through the bottom of R2-D2 there like that, and actually no, sorry, the double red wire goes in and this one goes around, so it will rest on the bottom there like that. And then what you need to do is screw it into this hole here, this hole here, this one there, and these two holes here. Even though this bum flap will be openable, make sure you screw it down for now. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. And when that's all done, it will look like this, and that is nice and secure. So the final thing that we have to do in this video is put the bottom foot onto R2-D2. Now, to start off with, we have to push all the wires through here like that, and we need to make sure that the foot angles the same way as the legs, otherwise you're going to have a wonky R2-D2. If you do it this way, it's not going to make sense. Basically what you need to do is you need to make sure that this bumper bar is facing the charger panel there, because this is the front of R2-D2 and this flap is the back. So when you put the leg on, you then flip R2-D2 around, and then if I just flip the camera around, you can see that it's meant to go here, here, here and here with some screws. So I'm just going to go ahead and screw that down now. And then when that's all done, it will look like this. How amazing is this? Look at R2-D2. He's stood up. All he needs is his head and his body, and he looks great. What you can do now, if you want to, is you can assemble the body and put the dome loosely in place, and then R2-D2 looks completed. But of course, he still has 8 more issues to do, which is all the internal wiring, the batteries and stuff like that. So there's still a little bit of work to do, but if you just want R2-D2 displayed in the corner of your room or center of your room, you can do that after issue 91, which is pretty spectacular. But like I say, there is more to do on R2-D2, including more wiring and lots of electrical work. Next time we're going to be looking at something which I know most of you who've completed this will have loved, the batteries. So join me next week for lots of battery talk and building more of R2-D2. I'll see you then, guys. Take care. Bye bye. I just want to thank my patrons. Without you guys, this video would not have been possible and this channel would be dead, so thank you very much.